Hello and welcome to the Order of the Perpetual Stew, home to all TTRPG content produced by Soup Dumpling Media. We're honored to have you at the table with us. The stories told at this table will include subjects that may not be suitable for all audiences, and as such, any content warnings will be posted in the description. Severe discretion is advised. Today's special is Echoes of the Forgotten, our D&D Legacy 5e audio drama, set in the homebrew world of Yustelia. Lovingly crafted by head chef Renegade Dumpling and sous chefs Emma Skinner, Anna Maeve, Ian Walls, Kay Purcell, and of course, Soup Bear. Settle in, folks. The main course is arriving.
Glimmerwood, the capital city of the Blooming Rift. A sprawling expanse of dark stone buildings wrapped around the roots of a gargantuan tree, whose opalescent, almost translucent bark and leaves that glitter like stars stand vigil over its citizens. Nestled amongst the roots of the tree is the Temple of Shade Solace, home to the goddess of the moon, Halith, to her most devout worshippers, and to our daring heroes, the Hands of the Rift. Tonight, we follow their final stand and bear witness to events that echo across the plains to this very day. Waste not your prayers on our heroes, dear listeners. Their fate is inescapable.
You are dying. You feel it in your bones as warmth leaves you like animals stampeding away from a storm. It's a song and dance that you're used to by now, but one that you wish would hurry up. You'd never forget this feeling. Not after 10, 100, maybe even 1,000 times. And oh, sweet mother, is it boring and painful and horribly slow. Even looking out at one another, through the light dimming in each other's eyes, you can tell you're all thinking the same thing. When is this going to end? And then it does. And then it starts anew. You wake in familiar beds, looking at one another, sharing exasperated sighs, and shaking off the phantom stings of your various mortal wounds, all now healed. No trace of them to be found at all, in fact. Outside the high, iron-framed windows of your room, a large black bird, whose feathers shimmer in the light like an oil slick, cocks its head at you in curiosity, as though sizing up and regarding you all before taking off, shaking the entire tree it had perched on. Well, if you are all awake then, says a voice from the far end of the room, there is much work to resume. Our beloved mother is quite displeased with you all. And in the doorway stands a young woman with pallid skin, eyes kind of like the moon, and almost translucent hair. She's dressed in simple, pale yellow vestments, and a holy symbol hangs from a belt at her hip, crescent moon shape with a flower blooming in its center. Come on, then.
Layne rises from his bunk. He's very, very careful not to let his emotion show through the face that he wears. But he stands to his feet and moves towards the door, but doesn't go through it. Layne, it seems, intends to bring up the rear.
Before rising from the bed, Marin, as rote, they've done it every time and they'll do it every time again, puts one hand in the other, whispers a soundless little thanks to the mother for returning again. Thanks is always due, no matter how many times we do this. She stands very slowly and looks at the remaining three, just a glance to each of them to see how everyone is faring, and then will turn and depart past Layne. There's much business to do.
Kai stares from his bunk up at the ceiling, finding a little spot, a smudge of dirt, trying to bury himself in it as he focuses on it. I'm sorry. We'll do better next time. He sits up, leaves the bunk, and tries not to make eye contact with anyone.
Isla hangs on to that moment of death a bit longer. These days, it's all the same. Living, dead, living. At least here it's quiet. The priest can't give her another task to do, so she hangs there a bit longer than she probably should, before coming to and sitting up, looking around at her companions here, and then at the dozen or so spirits milling about that she can see. It's all the same these days. She stands up and follows the others out quietly.
And Aster's probably the last to drag herself out of bed, groaning the whole time, going, "Ow. Why didn't anyone stop me?" But brushes herself off and starts trailing behind the others.
Aster, even if we were strangers, we all know there's no stopping you.
Try harder.
I shall.
The temple attendant that came to wake you all, who you would all know as Tally at this point, leads you to sort of the front end of the temple, past folks milling about, going about seemingly normal duties, cleaning up, transporting washing, transporting goods, to an offshoot room, kind of a office of sorts, except the person sitting behind the large stone desk is a statue. This is not unfamiliar to you all. This is normally how you would commune with the mother while she is out and about. And Tally closes the door behind you, and the eyes on the statue flare to life, and you hear Halith. And she goes,
Well, how did it go?
Badly. Quite badly.
But there's always a chance to right our wrongs. We always go again. Now shouldn't be any different.
We know what the new security looks like, so we can plan for it. Though I would once again implore that we leave the plate armor behind. It has never once helped us.
Speak for yourself. I am just a tad concerned about what might happen without it.
We might not get spotted. That would be an improvement.
I reserve my judgment. I leave it open to the mother's call.
Aster kind of shyly kicks a loose piece of rock. And I can tone down the explosions, I suppose.
To be fair, this time it was a team effort. Your explosions reflected off of the plate metal that our party is so insistent on wearing, and we were just giant flares walking through that hallway.
Those two factors together were perhaps not the best combination.
There's a long pause before the statue speaks up again.
I suppose there is always next time. However, we are beginning to run out of time.
Enemy forces have been spotted in the outskirts. They will be upon us in a matter of days.
How many more shots do we get?
That depends on you all.
We normally have more than days to plan.
You have been at it for many years now. I'm sure you have made some improvements to your speed. You are not my champions for nothing.
We can do it. We will. We must, and so we will. At the mention of enemy forces, Marin's hand has been just... Their fingers have just been tapping against the edge of their crossbow, already concerned.
Glimmerwood will be evacuated. I'm sure our citizens would love to see you off before your next attempt, but please, make this next one your last.
At the mention of interacting with citizens, Layne's hands ball up into fists, the nails digging a little bit into the flesh. But he says nothing. He merely lowers his head.
I have faith in you all. You're a smart and dedicated bunch after all. I'm certain you will find a way out of this little predicament. You will bring the staff home, and we will be rid of my sister.
We won't let you down. Not again.
Isla glances over, I think, at a spirit that's been following her, a warrior some ages past. Noting the grim look on his face, she glances back at the statue. Right, won't let you down at all.
There's somewhat of an approving sound, and then a cold rush of air as the eyes of the statue go dim, and the air rushes past you all out the door, which has blown open. And Tally looks at you all and goes, "Well, all right. There is a gala to prepare for, and I'm sure that you have other preparations that need to be done before your next attempt. You are free to go."
Marin will incline her head towards the statue, even though the presence is gone, with just another gesture of respect, and then strides out of the room past everyone.
Isla will follow.
One more. Sorry to anyone who's listening, and Kai will follow.
Layne is, as usual, silent for the most part, but looks down at Aster. If it's all the same to you, I've quite liked the explosions.
At least someone does. And she'll follow out.
Layne will bring up the rear.
So, what? We just wing it this time? A couple of days is not enough time.
No, but we have our notes. We have the notes, the plans. We can make updates to them.
We could die again.
It teaches us, if nothing else.
Maybe we can't. I don't know if we have a lot more time to learn.
They had much more security than they've had before. Isla, how bad exactly was it? I didn't get a particularly good look, but that was quite a lot.
At least twice what we've seen in the past.
Oh, gods.
I think they know they're close. They know we're running out of time.
All this for a stupid stick?
Wars have been fought over less.
A very shiny, powerful stick.
What is she even gonna use it for?
I, for one, am in the club of let's hope we don't find out.
Feel like it's above our paid grade.
Layne will incline his head and say, I know not what the mother has planned for the artifact. I simply know I hunt where she points. Do we wish to collaborate on further plans? I know my skills. They are not for planning. but I am happy to listen to what you have to say. I trust your judgment.
Give me a day, and I'll have things updated. I'll try and come up with a few options of something we haven't tried yet.
Thank you.
I'll talk with the spirits who trail along and see if they remember anything that I don't. Maybe there was a hole, a new door, something.
And this gala? When is it? At the mention of a gala, Layne's normal visage of being like very stoic and very scary is, you're starting to see him sweat a little bit. It's like, when is the gala?
And is it here? Are they coming here to the temple to see us off? The whole of Glimmerwood? Here? Are we going to them?
No one told you exactly when the gala would be, or where.
Marin is starting to share some of Layne's nervousness very visibly.
Do we 100% all have to be seen by the crowd?
Well, from the sound of it, it may be the last opportunity you get to make an appearance.
Oh god, that's even worse. I have to say something memorable.
Layne will crack the faintest hint of a smile. Ah, Kai. And you thought first impressions were difficult.
I, for the record, still do.
I mean, if you don't say anything and don't embarrass yourself, and we do die, at least you have a happy memory to leave off on?
The crowds do love their last words. I mean, what was the last thing you said to them before this? Is that what you want to leave off on?
No, I said we're definitely going to do it this time. That can't be the last thing.
Perhaps you should not speak in definitive statements anymore.
I definitely will.
Or say it again. If you're wrong and this is our last time, you won't have to deal with it.
Did you say it the time before that as well? Maybe third time's the charm?
Yeah. Yeah, third time's the charm. Or it's not. But it is. Will be. Is.
Well, there's that confidence. Aster will reach up and pat you on the shoulder a little bit.
We face two equally weighty and terrifying battles. A city with great and terrifying security and generals whom we have fought time and time again and died to, and also a social event where everyone wants to speak to us.
I pray I am scary enough I may avoid at least one of these fates.
Plus side, bright side, if you die at the gala, you probably have time to resurrect before we do this one last time.
I like your bright sides, Isla. If I may provide no further wisdom, I may retire to my quarters.
Alright. What are you all planning to do in preparation for the gala and your next infiltration?
I'm not doing much to prep for the gala, but I am revising our notes, maps, troop movements, all of that, based on what I remember and any notes I took in the field and what the spirits remember and stuff like that.
Go ahead and make a history check, and if you're going to use the aid of the spirits, you can do it with advantage.
What is my history? I'm not great. I love level, we're level 20, right? Yeah, I love level 20. Some skills are spectacular and some are not good.
Yep. Absolutely.
The gap grows sometimes. The gap grows and becomes terrifying.
With my mighty +2 to history, that's a 15.
Okay. That's not terrible. The ghosts that have been hanging around you are mostly going, "Are you really gonna do this again? Are you sure? That was a lot of people."
We don't have a choice.
Some of them do bring up a flow of magic that previously had gone unnoticed when locating ley lines to locate portals. And a couple of them go, well, 50-50 chance you either end up right beneath the city or as far away from the city as possible.
I believe these are what they call desperate times. We'll have to talk as a group whether or not it's a matter for desperate measures. Could any of you try the portal? Could you do recon for us, figure this out?
I don't know. We don't normally go on our own. And you watch like 3 of them disappear out of your sight because you have piqued their curiosity enough that they have gone off to go try.
I believe in you. I would say don't die, but it's a little late for that.
Is there anything else, either with the spirits or otherwise, that you want to do at this time?
No, just working on new plans. It's got to be a good plan. It's got to be something we haven't tried before if this is going to be our last shot. So she is trying to be clever. We have been methodical up until this point. It's been a lot of recon, but this is as much recon as we can do, so now she has to be clever.
Okay.
Layne has gone down to the lowest level of the Temple of Shade Solace that is currently accessible to him, whether that is a basement or a catacomb or something deeper than that, where he has set up several test dummies, and here he is attempting to hone his skills one more time. He has his hammer, Judgment of the Rift, available, practicing the throw, the catch, the impact. It feels like every hit is solid. He does not feel as if these are missing, these are failing. But he feels the need to practice in private at all times. After all, monsters don't practice. Monsters simply are terrifying as they step out of the darkness. And he misses at least one shot, and he sighs, pauses for a moment, and picks up the hammer, and begins throwing again.
Kai is unable to think about the daunting task at hand, what may be one of their final attempts, and so instead is focusing on preparing for the gala, pulling out different outfits, trying to find something that fits, something that will give off the idea of a brave warrior. And he's having trouble. There's about 35 different mixed and matched outfits on the floor right now. Some are just the wrong color of chartreuse. It'll give the people the wrong kind of impression. Some aren't grand or regal enough. Some are too fancy. You need to seem approachable. He's currently struggling to decide hat or no hat.
With your back to the door, you hear Aster out of nowhere. Picking your funeral outfit?
Well, I can only hope not.
Relax, I'm joking. We won't die.
Well, or you could say we die over and over again. Over and over and over and over and over again. And it's best not to think about the fact that we die over and over and over. And I'm not thinking about it.
She walks over, picks up a kind of dark brown jacket. I mean, this feels sacrilegious, but would it be so bad to just not revive anymore?
I think about that too sometimes. But I don't know. It sometimes seems less scary. Does that make sense? I mean, coming back over and over and over again. Every time we fail, we know we failed. We know we made mistakes. And I don't know, for some people, at least you don't have to ruminate on everything that brought you to the exact moment of your death. I don't know, maybe a release would be nice.
She puts the jacket down, nods a little bit. We've got one more shot, at least. And you know, either we kill them or they kill us.
I am really, really, really hoping it's the first one.
7th time's the charm?
Yeah. 7th time's the charm. And Kai will give a little smile.
I'm gonna go see if I can find out exactly when we're supposed to be at this party, because I don't want it to be sprung on us while, like, I'm in a nightgown or something.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you want to be wearing more than a nightgown, I don't think I'm gonna wear this hat.
She takes a look at it. I don't think I'm gonna wear that hat either.
You know, and honestly, that's fair. Oh god, now I feel like I have to wear it. You know what? I'm committing. This is the outfit I say goodbye in.
Aster is desperately trying to hide her laughter behind a hand. I gotta go. I've gotta go. And she turns and she rushes out of the room to avoid hurting Kai's feelings by laughing at the hat outfit choice. Because if this is their final stand, she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to hurt his confidence.
Marin has been pacing in the gardens for a while, running through just a variety of strategies and possibilities and what ifs, like a Rolodex of options in her mind. Anyone watching would see that as they go back and forth, just marching this path in the gardens, they're starting to practice the somatic components for different spells than they typically go to in a pinch. As opposed to spells of full destruction and power, they're now starting to remind themselves of the healing magic, the death wards, faced with this sneaking suspicion that if this is the last time to accomplish the mission, everyone might not make it out if any of us do it all. And eventually, they are continually pacing just by Isla's room, wanting desperately to burst in over the hours and ask what the updates are, but not wanting to push it. And so eventually have a very similar idea to Layne and actually descend, hoping to set up some training dummies and practice their crossbow shots specifically in the basement. But presumably, when she walks in, there are some already there.
And they're in a pretty sorry state of repair as well, because Layne, at the end of his training, has grown so frustrated, cannot find the break in his swing. He cannot find what is causing this problem, what is causing him to fail to protect his friends. And in fact, probably as Marin descends to the basement, she probably bumps into Layne on his way up, who gives her a brief nod.
A little nod of acknowledgement back, and I think Marin could likely... You look like you've been training for a while, I would assume.
I have.
She gives you a little bit of a nod, and there's the ghost of a smile for maybe the first time as she goes, great minds. I was coming to do the same thing.
Layne will, uncharacteristically, probably, crack a smile back. Well, I hope you find better. I hope you have better luck than I do. I did not. Layne kind of pauses for a second. I did not leave the room all that nicely behind me. Would you like help putting it back together?
Marin is clearly initially going to say, no, it's fine, I will handle it myself, but then notices the overture and kind of stops, and you're welcome to. It's not a problem for me. I have some crossbow bolts to shoot into various hinges and soft surfaces as much as I can, but meditative, if nothing else. Shall we?
Well, let's see if I can put some of the soft surfaces back on the walls. And Layne will follow you and descend with you down into the basement.
Marin very clearly sees the room and sort of the evidence that you have been having a rougher time as the practice progressed, and just a nod of sympathy. It always feels like we're just one missed hit away, and I keep thinking that it's always my hit, the one I last missed, that... We are so close.
Perhaps we are. Perhaps we are. And Layne, who you've known by now, has an extremely difficult time showing emotion of any kind, is attempting to put targets on the wall for you. For me, it has always been a matter of the test dummies simply do not fear me. I find it easier to strike with purpose when they flee before me.
I can understand that. The test dummies do just tend to kind of stay and stare.
Much like the people of the Glimmerwood.
Yes. I am somehow less excited for that than for the city again.
We will be going and doing what we have done.
You and I and Kai, as the ones in plate, are not the stealthy ones, but after we have paid all the social mores we need to, I may still attempt to silently stealth away, and likely fail because of the aforementioned plate. Isla was not wrong about that, I fear.
Perhaps not. I find it easiest, though, to feel strongest when I am fully covered. And, as a matter of fact, I hope to find the quartermaster. I do not wish to appear in finery before the people of Glimmerwood. Steel and darkness and blood is all they've ever known of me. I imagine if I am to make a final impression, it should probably be a consistent one.
If that being what you wish, I can only support. I hope... And Marin kind of clearly stops and redirects themselves from whatever direction their thoughts were trailing, instead to, thank you for these targets, for the help.
It is, as always, my pleasure. I will leave you to your work. And Layne will give not a curt nod, but almost a sheepish nod, I'll say, and meander his way back up the stairs, looking for another shadow to slink into, perhaps, or maybe even the aforementioned quartermaster.
Marin watches Layne depart, and just kind of stands alone in the empty room for a moment, and then a big sigh, rotely loads the crossbow and starts aiming and firing with extremely methodical over and over and over again.
Isla, it's a couple of hours before one spirit returns out of the 3 that initially took off. They drift into your room up from the floor, looking a little bit forlorn. The good news is the other 2 can pass through the portal. The bad news is I can't.
Okay. Did they come back?
Not yet. But like touching the nearest cluster of ley line energy is like touching a wall. It's solid. So I don't know if maybe it's blocked, but the other 2 haven't come back yet.
Interesting. Well, I am sorry that you were not able to go on an adventure with them.
It's not that different than it was in life.
Well, if they don't come back, then it's still a risk. I don't know. Is it a risk worth... If we only have one more shot at this, is it a risk worth taking?
Well, we're dead, so the risk to us is less than the risk to you, but you also tread the line quite closely.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder which side of it I'm on. Maybe we split into 2 teams? One through the portal, one not? I don't know. I have a lot to think about tonight.
I will keep an eye out for the other 2.
Thank you.
The spirit sinks back through the floor, and a couple of hours pass before you all regroup at Aster's insistence. Whose room are we gathering in?
You're probably least likely to be disturbed in Layne's, so it should probably be Layne's.
Despite the murder accusations,
It does tend to keep people away.
She gathers you all up and ushers you into Layne's room and goes, "All right, the gala is tomorrow because they need to start evacuations after that. It sounds like the enemy forces have gotten much closer than we have been told, so it would be best that we get this over with and probably depart ourselves, because it sounds like there's a lot of them."
Of the enemy forces?
Yes.
The more of them that are here, the less that are in the city.
That's true. So what do we find a new portal? What if we just leave? What if we don't go? What if we just run?
I mean, it is certainly an option. It doesn't really help the people here. I do have a new portal that I have some spirits investigating, but they have been gone for quite some time, so I worry about where it may lead.
Were they able at least to get through, if nothing else?
A couple of them, but not all of them. So I don't know if the portal was closed or blocked from one side after a couple went through, or if only some spirits can go through and some can't. But it seems like this portal could be underneath the city itself, or it could be on the other side of the continent. It's difficult to say.
Leap of faith.
A little bit. A risk. Whatever you may want to call it. I know we are supposed to protect the Glimmerwood, but if the people are being evacuated, do we wait for the troops to reach here and then make our move? Draw out as many as we can.
I mean, that's gonna leave its mark here. I mean, even if we do succeed, what are we fighting to make sure these people have a home to come back to?
Buildings and temples can be rebuilt. We've seen at least 3 renovations of the sanctuary.
I do not know many things, but specifically, I do not know what the Mother Goddess intends to do with her treasure. I do not know if recovering it will save the city here. Certainly it will banish the pretender god, the sister. But I do not know what becomes of the city here once the staff is in her hands. If we succeed, who's to say that ultimately we have helped these people?
I mean, we must be helping these people, right? I mean, that's what we do. We're heroes. We're fighting the good fight for the people, right?
We were chosen.
They are under her gaze too. I have to trust that she would not abandon them in favor of the purpose of this staff. She must have a plan for them. I trust that the Rift Mother will care for them. They will be safe, and we can ensure that to a degree, but our duty is still in the city on the other side, as it has always been. We must believe that she will care for them here.
And not to put too fine a point on it, but I mean, the other guys go by the demon generals?
I have long had a wish to put my hammer through their teeth. What do we know of them? Do we know anything new of our foe?
Whoever would like to make a history check can make a history check about...
It should not be Layne. It shouldn't.
Anybody else?
I'm sure someone can beat Kai's stunning +1.
Let me...
I have please tell me my +2 is not the highest.
What does Aster have?
0.
I have very unfortunate news for you. Your +2 is the highest. If I am reading my sheet correctly, which I am, your +2.
Oh, wonderful.
Everyone in the room slowly turns to look expectantly at the clock.
With a sigh, Isla will look to any spirits that are around. Are there any here that have followed us into battle before, or who are warriors of battles ages past who may have come into contact with these generals?
In the corner of Layne's room, probably as dramatic and stereotypical as a spirit can be, there is potentially a warrior. They are wearing armor, and they are pressed up into the corner, intently looking at you all. Less like a creeper stare, more like a "what are you doing in my room?"
Yeah, so this is my using Whispers of the Dead, so I'm going to take proficiency in history through this spirit. Isla will cross the room, kind of looking ominously up into a dark, shady corner in your room, Layne. Just call out. And what do you remember of these generals we face? You look as though you've seen them in the past.
In a sense, yes. I don't know how much you can call a brief blur seeing them.
So with Whispers of the Dead and proficiency from that, I have a +8, which gives me a 25.
Oh, goddamn. You watch this soldier kind of like grumble a little bit, like they don't like that you're looking at them. And eventually they float down from the dark corner onto the floor. And they're a little bit average height, probably. Battered leather armor, a dark splotch running down across their face. It looks like they may have been burned or mauled by something at some point. And they say, well, there's 5 of them, and it's hard to explain. The way that they move is unnatural even for trained combatants and casters. 2 of them seemingly disappear and reappear at will. 2 of them do not bother with such a thing and barrel straight through any obstacles. And the last one taunts us from the sky. They never hide.
Isla relays this to the rest of the team, then looks back at the spirit. I appreciate your answers. I'm sorry to disturb your rest, and I'm sorry that Layne here has disturbed your room for so long.
It has been years at this point. We are as roommates, I suppose.
I will be sure to call you roommates then. Isla will nod to the spirit and turn back to everyone else.
They'll nod.
Information, terrifying information, but information nonetheless.
At the mention of the way that these 5 supposedly people move, it does jog your memory of an instance of the flying one, as the spirit called it, and a whirlwind of flower petals. It seemed that they drew an unfamiliar and incredibly large and intricate magic circle in the air, and it whipped up an entire whirlwind of flower petals out of nowhere. And you remember that within the column of those flower petals, you felt like you were choking.
I think we have faced at least the one in the air. Remember, I think it was our 4th attempt. The flowers. Kai, you ended up in the river.
Oh, yep. I was hoping not to think about that one again. You know, plate armor doesn't float very well.
Yet another point against it. Surprise, surprise. Perhaps the chance of this new portal leading us underground could be beneficial. If one of the generals is always in the sky, that we fully avoid one, I would imagine, being underground.
Engage them not all at once as 5, or bypass or avoid any of them for as long as possible is a great boon to us, I should think.
I should like to learn more about this portal.
Well, Aster is going to hold out her hand to Marin. You want to see if we can scan the Weave of Magic and find those portals they were talking about?
Marin takes the offered hand, kind of, again, a little bit of a half grin at Aster. Yes, I think let's do that. You should be able to track down something of help. Any information. All of this is good. We can do this. We learn more every time.
Roll a D100 for me.
Ooh. 12.
So you have done this before. You and Aster have probably the most concentrated divine and divinely arcane links to the Weave of Magic. So you close your eyes, you spread out your senses, and they start to spiderweb off, following little invisible clusters here and there. There's tiny portals, tiny tears to places that could be or could not be helpful to you. It's unclear. Together, you both follow a path towards a portal that's seemingly out in the forest, maybe a day's travel from Glimmerwood. And as you reach the glowing rift, you can see 2 spirits poke their heads out and go, "Ah! Oh, it's just you. Oh, we can all go back and tell the group then."
Does it look like they're seeing the two of us, or are we visible as something else to them, or...
To them, you just look like ghost versions of yourself.
Right. Marin is grinning, kind of realizing that this is presumably the two that Isla was mentioning have been missing. At last they have returned.
They escort you on your way back, the web collapsing in on itself, but the glowing path that you traced still visible, even when you open your eyes. As you and Aster open your eyes, the spirits also come into view. Hey, we found your thems. These guys. And a path, maybe. The good news is it's not directly under the city. The bad news is it is kind of far out. We couldn't see any major cities on the horizon. It'll take a long time. And I'm not even sure where we landed exactly. It was very densely wooded.
So it's a bust then. Well, it's good we didn't risk it, I guess. Okay. And she turns around and kind of rolls out a map that she's been carrying around. Which portal should we try this time? She points to one. That's where we found all the spike traps last time. This one over here was the full garrison. I think this one was the flames.
That one was definitely the flames. What is the closest one, no matter how risky, that we haven't tried?
Isla will point to one on the map. What does it look like? Great GM.
There is what appears to be a town, perhaps a day or two's travel out from Dawnlight, but it does appear that it is smack in the middle of the town.
It's not ideal. The last time we tried disguises, it didn't exactly go well.
Well, they have to sleep, right? It doesn't look like it's a big settlement. If we go at night, in a plane that's eternally twilight, maybe they don't sleep.
I mean, a settlement, that rule has to have guards, patrols, somebody keeping an eye out.
They could have also potentially pulled in any guards there to heighten the security in the city. That was quite a lot of people we were facing down, but that might mean that there are fewer on those outskirts. This could actually work in our favor.
Looking at the map, does it look like the city we're heading to is where people would go for market? Is it close enough for that? From this small settlement?
If it's for things other than normal cloth or produce, they would have to go into the city for it, like magical items, building materials, things that would be more expensive and probably also harder to make on their own. They would have to go in to the city for that.
But it doesn't look like there would be merchants or like farmers coming from this rural settlement to the larger city.
Not an amount that would be worrisome. Like if you're trying to be unseen along the road, it's not likely that there are too many caravans.
Isla was wondering if maybe we do try disguises again. Maybe we're farmers heading into town to sell whatever it is they grow or produce at this small settlement.
It is sparse, but there are occasional traveling carts if you would like to disguise yourself.
Disguises are always an option. I've always thought I would be awfully good in another life as a theatrician if it weren't for the crippling stage fright.
I question whether you would have stage fright in some other life. but I do not know. We have never been returned as not ourselves, right?
Yes?
As far as we know.
I don't remember not being me.
I could see you on the stage, Kai.
Thanks.
Aster begins to have an identity crisis off to the side. Like, have I ever not been me? How do I know that I am me? Who am I?
Marin is still sitting close to Aster from the magics earlier, and we'll just, as noticing this, we'll just slowly start to reach over and pat Aster's hand, just with the, it's a dangerous thought process to go down. It will hurt if you go further. Don't think too hard about it.
Okay.
Besides, you're wonderful as you are.
Not to get more terribly existential, but once we do finish this mission, what do we do afterwards?
There's always another mission, right?
I was thinking maybe, just for a minute at least, cocktails on the beach.
Would be nice to take a rest, to not die for a little bit.
I don't really know what to do with myself if not on a mission, but I've been thinking of trying my hand at gardening. Is that what people do when they're not doing this?
Some people. They seem to like it, too.
The same with the stage, I suppose.
Well, hey, we get through this. You start your garden and I'll take acting classes.
Improv 101.
Ah, yes, I've always dreamed of being on an improv team.
Layne is silent, but you see his shoulders shaking. He is chuckling at the idea of all these things.
I think there's a smile on Isla's face as well during this conversation, but she shoots Layne a knowing look, kind of clearly telegraphing how she thinks this mission is actually going to go.
And Layne will nod right back. Because even though Layne ain't smart, Layne understands.
I want to travel. I don't think I've ever been apart from you all long enough to do so, but also, this is all I've ever known.
Be careful, you might find out we're not very good company.
Nonsense.
So, to get to that point, we have to finish our mission first. So which portal do we want?
I'm inclined to try the town. We know about our difficulties with stealth. We can do our very best to minimize them and get as far as we can before the blades come out. It'll be closer. We have a better shot. We get the staff.
So we have a day's ride from there to the city. How do we want to get in? Are we scaling the walls again? Are we trying to go underneath? Through the gate?
We are to be farmers, yes? Could we not simply have a cart pass through the gate as a civilian would?
As long as we aren't recognized, theoretically it would work.
That's what the disguises are for.
At this point, I don't know that they expect us to try something so pedestrian.
In a past life, I was a shepherd. And if we have animals, I can lead them. If we have a cart, we can stow things within it that may assist us, like plate armor.
Hey, great compromise. No plate armor, but still plate armor.
Keep an eye out for empty buildings as we go in. Someplace where we can set up, rest for a moment before we keep moving.
I could make one of us a horse.
I volunteer to not be a horse.
Oh, you spoil sport. You would make the best horse.
As our scout, I should also not be a horse, but having different numbers than what they expect from us could be useful.
I mean, if we're voting, I do think Layne would make a great horse.
While I trust your judgment. I will not be a horse.
All right, you've convinced me.
It'll be the role of a lifetime.
The beginning of your bold career.
This is where it all starts.
If you want my autograph now, it's going to be a hot commodity someday.
I thought you meant before the hooves.
Oh, doubly so if I sign it with hooves.
Might be a little tough to read, but so are a lot of celebrity signatures.
Do you meet many celebrities?
You know, I feel I might meet more if we, make it through this life.
Be pretty popular.
If we make it through this alive, I think we become celebrities.
Does this mean I will have to talk to people?
Generally.
Ignore me, please. I wish to hear the plan.
Wait, no, Layne raises a great point. I'm not sure I want to be a celebrity anymore.
Well, you are not going to be a celebrity. You're going to be a horse. You don't have to take your armor off for that.
Yeah!
Well, before all of it, we have the gala, which will be a lovely, preceding warm-up, I'm sure.
Is there any chance I could be a horse there? I don't think people would try to talk to me.
Oh, I think you are sorely mistaken, my friend.
Have we time before the gala to gear up? Update our weapons, our armors, our gear? Specifically, I think I should like to find something to assist us.
If the gala is tomorrow evening, then we probably have time. Finding a wagon and giving it a false bottom to hide stuff could be useful.
Over the table, DM, if I wanted to summon a Pegasus to act as a horse, how common are Pegasi in this part of the world?
In this part of the world, nobody would bat an eye. The moment you go through that portal, people are going to be like, why does your horse have wings?
Fair enough. Okay. This is why I asked.
It's a good question before you summon the Pegasus on the other side of the portal.
Yeah. So, gala tomorrow, and then portal in the next couple days? We still have to travel to get to it, right?
I say we attend the gala, have as good a time as we can muster in whatever way that manifests, and get a good night's rest, and then set off. Mother made it seem like every moment counts. As soon as possible, without unduly harming ourselves.
Does death count as undue harm?
Not to us.
Okay, I'm gonna go sleep on this plan.
Well, I'm gonna go sleep on a pillow.
Marin does fully smile at that.
So if nothing else to talk with your fellow hands about, you all shuffle off into your individual rooms, either to outfit plan or pour over maps. Is there anything anybody would like to do before you long rest?
We'll probably have time to outfit tomorrow. I am looking at the spell Find Greater Steed, but it only takes 10 minutes, so I think I'll hold off on that. I'll probably just read, honestly, until it's time for a long rest.
Marin, I think, just, again, out of rote habit, as has become their custom, as we prepare for missions again and again, there's some time as it wears into the night where everyone can hear that she paces the halls for a while and mutters brief prayers of thanks and of hopeful blessing to the Rift Mother in front of everyone's doors. The footsteps just stop briefly, and then she continues on.
Isla settles down in her room, a number of candles lit. She's sitting in the middle of the floor, heavy incense in the air. And as she begins to rest, the spirits are drawn to her. I don't have any soul trinkets currently, so with a long rest, one of the spirits will bring me one.
Guy is definitely gonna have a tough time sleeping. It's gonna It's going to take quite some time to fall asleep. They keep sitting up, pacing around, trying on the hat, trying it off again.
Eventually, they settle down. They find that little speck, that smudge on the ceiling, and they stare at it until they're asleep.
Aster finds a nice little window ledge to sit at, and she looks past the glittering leaves up into the sky. She's still horribly existential about her own questions earlier. But eventually she settles, and she lays down, and she goes to sleep, hoping that the next time she wakes up, it'll be time to put an end to all of this.
Thanks for dining with us today, folks. We sincerely hope you enjoyed today's offerings. And if you're hungry for more, well, you'll just have to come back next month, now won't you? Until then, you can follow our cast and crew on social media, all links in the description, and check out everything our heroes are up to in the interim. Until next time, stay safe, travelers.